Hello everybody, and we're back here with more Image Comics with Big Game Issue 2 by Mark Millar and Pepe Larraz. This issue just dives right into the crossover premise the first issue set up, as Millar uses this issue to help our heroes confirm that there were indeed heroes that lived on Earth before 1986, and their memories were all wiped of them, as they were all killed off by Wesley Gibson's father and his team of supervillains. To learn the truth, Edison Crane and Bonnie Griffin enlist the help of the Chrononauts and their time travel technology to go back in time briefly to see if Bonnie's claims are true. The Chrononauts was a book I've actually read from the MILLARWORLD, and it's great to see Danny and Corbin again, and I love Millar briefly dived back into their world this issue, reiterating that time travel just can't happen thanks to it being immensely expensive, both money-wise and environmental-wise. I always enjoy when writers deliberately have a new technology or a new power they introduce into a book and they don't turn it into a Deus Ex Machina and actively write it in a way that they can't use it as a crutch and other people can't use it as a crutch in their stories. And Millar does exactly that with this time travel, really hitting home that this is something that can't be done on a regular basis just because of the cost to everything involved. The heroes do indeed time travel though, only for 5 minutes though, and go back to 1985, and this is where the book goes really insane with its premise. As well, they have gone back to New York. Bonnie, without explicitly saying it, reveals that back then New York was called something else, and that was called Metropolis, and they have come back in time so they can see Superman. Again, it's all not explicitly said, it's all just kind of told through visuals, since we see the Daily Planet, a phone booth, and a red-caped hero, but it's just so insane to put this in a comic with already so many insane crossovers, and one I genuinely didn't expect. And on top of that, basing it in 1985 is genius on Millar's part, since that's the year Crisis of Infinite Earths came out and reset the DC universe, thus implying that this entire thing the killer did back in 1986 could have been a world within the Crisis of Infinite Earths and one of the countless worlds that disappeared at the end of that event. It's such a big-brained, bold swing, and I think it works perfectly, not only in terms of the crossover stuff and kind of having like its cake and eating it too, but also to have the first big hero a lot of these characters see being Superman, the father of superheroes and the symbol of hope and the symbol of goodness. And I thoroughly enjoy that Millar referenced that as a thing, and these characters all now fully believe that heroes did exist. Millar, of course, does a bit of a swerve in the storyline here though, as seemingly Edison, the Chrononauts, and Bonnie are all horrifically gunned down upon arrival back in the present, meaning they have been essentially taken out of the game, which is yet another insane piece of story progression, since Millar has really been setting them up as the main characters of the event and the ones we've been following through since the last issue. It's a great way to show that no one, and I mean no one, is safe, and I applaud Millar for sticking with that and actually killing off some of the more likable characters he's created. From here, we aren't really left with a character to follow and just kind of see sort of vignettes of other characters we know, like Hit Girl, who ends up being saved by the Kingsman agent Eggsy. It was a real quick sequence, only taking over 2 pages, and I hope we do get more of this pairing in future issues, since a pretty fun pairing, and I can't wait to see what they are like together. From here, the rest of the issue is Nemesis facing the ambassadors and just absolutely obliterating them, as now he seemingly has access to all of their superpowers somehow, being able to download them into his body at will. And this was actually quite surprising, being the ambassadors are quite new characters, so to see so many of them die, like almost 90% of the characters we had caught up with in the ambassadors book, all just completely taken out over the course of this sequence, is really cool, and I loved every minute of it. And again, it just says that no one in this event is safe and anyone can be killed or relegated to the fridge, more or less. Pepe Larraz is back with more brilliant artwork, and I love his depiction of Metropolis and how he got around being able to use Superman, never fully showing the hero but giving him a very familiar silhouette that when you look at it you go, that's fucking Superman. You can just tell by the way he's drawn. The violence of the issue was fantastically gruesome and fast-paced as well, really hitting home the chaos of Nemesis' attack against some defenseless heroes. Big Game Issue 2 was even better than the first issue, diving right into the crossover concept and taking it even further with a bloody brilliant and insane revelation about the MILLARWORLD and its place within the comic book multiverse, all while signaling that no one, and I mean absolutely no one, is safe from a gruesome death at the hands of the villains. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10.